my lovely learning designers. Anna Sabramowicz here. Today's video is going to be awesome. We are going to be talking about the counterintuitive way to leverage your portfolio. I'm going to give you 3 powerful tips, and then I'm going to send you on your way to execute, take action, implement, and rock this L&D world. Okay, so first off, the first tip for you is know what you want. Your portfolio piece, your portfolio should be basically it's directed up ahead of time. What you're doing with it is you're saying, okay, who do I want to attract? And there's 2 ways to think about this. The first way to think about it could be that what you're doing is you're going very broad. So if you are not specifically interested in a specific industry, but what you really want to do is just work with all kinds of people, then what you want to do is create a portfolio piece that will attract and resonate with people in all kinds of different industries. The places you can think about that will actually create a meaningful portfolio piece is something that would focus on communication skills, interpersonal skills, those things. If you create a portfolio piece that helps people with that and actually focus around those skill sets, then basically that will apply across any industry. Because even if you're talking to engineers, to healthcare professionals, to people who work in welding shops, all of those people will need either communication skills, assertiveness skills, how to deal with adversity. All those things will apply to any kind of industry. So if that's kind of your vision, then you want to say, okay, this is the kind of portfolio piece I want to create, and it is going to be focused around these things. Now, the other way you could go is to go very niche. And when I say that is you could, let's say you're somebody who's already worked in an industry for years, or you're passionate about something already. Like, let's say you're passionate about healthcare. Let's say you're passionate about mental health. Let's say you're passionate about people, helping people learn how to rehome feral cats. You don't know. I have actually met a lot of people who are from all over. They have passions. And what you can do is, if you feel like you could really help that industry and that's what you really want to get good at, then you could create a portfolio piece that solves a problem for that particular industry. So either you're already coming in with experience with that and you're like, okay, I'm just going to leverage this, or you're going to do some homework because you want to figure out how you can, what problems is this industry facing, and how can you use that to create a piece that solves that problem for them? Because imagine now sending it to the CEO or the person who's the director and saying, I've done some research and I know that this will probably help your people, and you can do that as many times as you want to within that niche. And you can do the same thing with your piece that you created for a more general audience, because that's also something that people will resonate with if you've done so strategically. But don't try to be all things to all people. Have an intent, know what you want, know what gets you excited, and who you want to work with, because your portfolio piece is going to attract more of that to you. Number 2, prepare for the no. So when you're designing your amazing interactive experience, a lot of times, we put these things out into the community of peers, and everybody's there to go give you a good pat on the back and be like, yay, you put together something, go champ. And your mom's checked it out and everybody gave you likes, and you just got basically a badge for showing up. That's not how reality works. When you start applying for jobs, when you start sharing your portfolio with CEOs and directors and people who you want to work with, they're gonna say no. They're gonna say no. You better be ready for it. I've got some amazing stories. We know these success stories, like J.K. Rowling. She had 12 publishing houses or companies or whatever say no to her. They declined her. They have all these letters now on the internet that you can read about them saying no to her. Now, you're like, okay, well, it's J.K. Rowling. Well, she was, a writer, starving artist. And one of the things you got to think about is that one of the things you want to do here is really, I'm not saying this to be facetious or to kind of get you to not, I want you to take this very seriously, very, very seriously, because on social media and in other places, when we share our work, it's easy to get fooled into thinking that if our peers like something, that our clients or our future clients will jump on the train just as easily. J.K. Rowling had to have 12 no's before she got the yes. And so I want you to think about, okay, I'm going to hear 6 no's in a row. How am I going to deal with that? And what is my backup as far as who am I going to call next with that? So have a list of people you want to reach out to. Have a pep talk for yourself saying, okay, I know that I'm going to hear no from people, but I'm going to be ready for it because I'm going to persist. When Sylvester Stallone crafted Rocky, the script for Rocky, he pitched it. He got 1,500 no's, but he wasn't going to stop. 1,500. Now imagine if you're like on the 1,000th no. Well, this man said no, and he went for 500 more, right? So just keep going. That's what I'm saying. And be prepared for it because it's going to happen, and that's totally okay. Every time you get that no, say, oh, that's cool. I'm just getting closer to my yes. Number 3, do great work. So and I see this all the time, people are you're trying to get work and you're trying to showcase that you can use a specific tool. And so you want to do that in a weekend. I've heard that. I've put this together in a weekend. And for me, if you put something together in a weekend, it shows. And also, if you're putting things together just to showcase that you can use a tool, and I know all of you are like, oh, but the jobs, they require me to be able to use tools. Cool. That's of course. If you're a one-person band, you got to be able to use all the tools. I get that. But if you put something together haphazardly, it's going to show. And also, it puts you in a state of commodity because just because you can use a tool, let's say I'm talking Articulate Storyline, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people who can use that tool all over the world. What makes you any different? What makes you different is the passion behind it, the strategy, the research you did, the collaboration you did, the iterations you did. That's what makes a project great. What legacy are you leaving? What are you setting yourself up for? And one of the things that the portfolio does is, I want you to think about it, it's not like you're putting it out there and being passive about it. What I want you to start thinking is that you are in charge of this. You are the director of your career. You are the director of who you want to work with, the kinds of work you want, the kind of projects you want to work on with people, who you want to work on those projects with. So all this is you being intentional with that, not saying, here it is, meekly asking for permission. You're saying, this is my passion. This is what I love to do. This is what I want to get awesome at. And I continue doing that by looking at my projects as I learn new things on LinkedIn Learning, because everybody can really go on LinkedIn Learning and learn any kind of software. You can say, I'm taking these things and now looking back at my work and making it even better because that's who I am. And that shows in your work. And that's something that you can share when you're talking to people about the work that you do. It's how you're constantly growing and iterating yourself, but also at the same time, creating a piece that you're so proud of and it solves a real problem for the people that you want to work with, that they're excited to work with you, even if it takes you a bit of sorting and sifting to find the ones that are really game. Because once you find those people, it's amazing. It's a force multiplier for you because when you start working with people that really gel with your vision and they really appreciate your talents, that makes your work better, and it stops being work. It starts being your craft, your creative craft. So I hope that was helpful. It was a little bit counterintuitive, but the goal is for you to become, like I said, the creator behind this. You have to be intentional with what you're doing and begin this portfolio journey, if you're doing that, with the idea that this is you directing that journey and you get to decide how it goes. So be intentional with it from the very beginning. Now, if you enjoyed this video, you found it useful, you better give me some likes and maybe subscribe if you enjoyed this kind of straight up advice. And if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments section, and make sure that if you really did enjoy this, you give me some fire emojis, because I'm seriously enjoying those right now. Okay, have a wonderful rest of the day. Talk to you soon. Ciao.